Hey, what's up everybody? In this video tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at how to create a mug of hot chocolate. It wouldn't quite be the same, unless we add some marshmallows in there as well. And maybe we'll take a look at customizing the mug. Who knows? We'll see where this takes us. So let's go ahead and let's get started with Onshape. Let's go ahead and create a new document. And I'm just going to be calling that one Hot Chocolate Project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create that public document. And once this gets up and running, let's go ahead and begin by starting a sketch here on our top plane. Let's look at that top plane on the view cube, and let's go ahead and draw a circle starting here from the origin, and we're going to give that a diameter of 4 inches. Let's go ahead and green check it. Take a look at this in an isometric view, and now let's go ahead and extrude that mug up a distance of 4 inches. So yeah, that's probably about the size of a mug. All right. All right. So now we need to go in there and put the cavity in which the hot chocolate's actually going to be in. We could go out there and draw a circle. We could extrude that. But let's just keep this simple. Let's go ahead and use some of those features we've already learned about this year. And that feature I'm looking for is going to be shell. So I'm picking on shell. I'm going to be picking on the top face to remove it. And I'm going to say that my thickness of the wall on my mug is going to be 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and just green check that. All right, so now that is done, let's go ahead and, it seems like they're pretty sharp corners for a mug. If you take a look at the ceramic on a mug, you can see it's going to be rounded over just a little bit. So let's go ahead and go to fillet. And I don't know, let's just go with 0.1 for our fillet radius. Let's just grab that inside corner there, this top edge, and then flipping it over, we'll also grab that bottom edge as well. Green check it, and now we can see that everything is sort of rounded over, okay, just like a coffee mug. All right, so it's not going to be a mug without a handle. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm actually going to be I'm going to be offsetting a work plane. And the work plane I'm going to be choosing to sort of, start from is going to be this right plane right here. So what I'm going to do is an offset. I'm going to go ahead and pick on that right side plane. Let's see if I can grab that. There it is. Okay, I'm grabbing that plane. So we know that the diameter of the mug was 4 inches. So if I bring this out to 2 inches, okay, we should be seeing this come right here to the edge. But the thing is, I want to give my handle a place sort of the start. So I'm just going to bring this out like 2.125. I'm going to green check it, and now we can see that that plane is just off the actual mug itself. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch here on our plane. Take a look at this right side plane. And what I'm going to do is come up here and find our center point rectangle. I'm going to track this off the center here and just construct this rectangle. So the overall width on this, I don't know, let's just call it 0.8. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then the actual thickness on this, I don't know, let's see what 0.25 looks like. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to go ahead and dimension this top to top edge here to be, that looks about right. That's about 1/2 of an inch. All right, so I'm going to do the same exact thing down below, but what I'm going to do is probably a linear pattern. I'm going to go ahead and just grab all this geometry. So I am going to go ahead and just come in here right now and say I don't want there to be 3 of those. I just want there to be 1. And then I'm going to be coming over here and saying I want there to be 2 of these. Okay, just like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip the direction on it and then go ahead and, I don't know, let's just put in 3 inches here. Let's see how far down it goes. Looks pretty good for, mug handle placement. Okay, now the thing is, what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and round over the handle just a little bit. So coming up here, I'm going to find my fillet, and I'm going to go ahead and just add a fillet radius here of, let's just call this 0.1. Just to round it over just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and continue on with each one of these. Okay, that's going to be 0.1. I'll accept that. This will be 0.1. I'll accept that. And same thing here. Okay, so those are all looking pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, looks like I lost my linear pattern. No problem. Let's just grab him. And once again, we need to be going with just 1 of these. And we need to be coming up here and going with 2 of these. And then flipping the direction on it, and then our distance apart we said was 3, and we'll go ahead and hit enter, and let's just go ahead and accept that. Okay, so all right, so that's all looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and just green check it, go ahead and flip this over, and now what I'm gonna do is just extrude this profile and this profile. These need to be an add, And then here where it says blind, I'm going to be saying, up to the face, but I need to do a flip on this to send it in the right direction. And that should, if I pick on the face, it should extrude to that face. So I'm going to go ahead and just green check that. Yeah, so that kind of failed. Let's try that again. Let's do an extrude. It's going to be this profile and this profile. They need to be an add. I need to do the flip, make sure it's going in the right direction. And let's try that one more time. Instead of this being blind, I'm going to say up to face. And now I can go ahead and pick on this box for the face, pick on the face, and now we'll see if there's two little platforms there, okay, that we can use to start our handle. Okay, so that is done. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and sketch on this front plane, take a look at that front plane. And what I'm going to do is come up here and use this use feature, and I'm going to find that center point right there and come down and find this center point right here. Okay, now this is when I can come up, use spline. I can start this from this point, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring this handle out. And just kind of looking at my coffee mug right here, it looks like it's going to be a little bit higher here, and then we'll go ahead and just start rounding this over, okay, to bring this all the way down to this point. So just remember, when it comes to spline, when you get to that last point, double click it, all right, to finish up with that spline. Okay, so now that that is done, now what I can do is I can start going ahead here and, I can start just sort of managing what my spline is doing. I can kind of go out there and get the profile I'm looking for. Okay, that's all looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just green check it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start a sketch here on this face. I'm going to go ahead and use to grab the inside of this profile and to grab the inside of this profile. I'm going to go ahead and green check it. And now I should be able to come up and use sweep. And I'm going to sweep this as my profile. I'm going to pick on the red sweep path. And now I'm going to go ahead and just grab that path. And it should be sending that handle all the way around, just like so. If we look at this a little bit closer, I think we're going to be seeing just a little bit of a break in these two. Actually, on mine, I don't know if it actually did or not. I think we have a good overlap. Okay, I think we're okay. Actually, it's right there. So let's go ahead, let's do an extrude here, okay, of that profile. And I'm just going to say I want to do an add extrusion up to the face. I'm going to flip this over just a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can't come in here and actually grab onto that face. Okay, and that we can see just extruded that just to join those two. So now that is actually a whole part. Okay, so it looks like I have my handle created. Now is the time when we come out here and actually go ahead and make a color on this one. So I'm going to come here to my appearance and I don't know, let's just go ahead and let's just make this a green colored cup, maybe a little bit lighter. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, get out my appearance panel. All right, so we have started with our cocoa mug, our hot chocolate mug. All right, so now what I'm going to do is come down here and add a new part. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just rename this. And I actually probably should rename the other one. So I'm going to say this is my actual hot chocolate liquid. And then back here, this one is my hot chocolate mug. Okay, so we have that. All right, so before I kind of get going here, I need to get some information. So, I do need to come out here and use measure. I'm going to come right here to this ring and see what that diameter is. So it's 3.5. All right, so I'm going to come here to my hot chocolate liquid. I'm going to look at this from the front view. I'm going to come out here and sketch on that front view. I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line. And this is going to be over 3.5 divided by 2, which means that is a distance of 1.75. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just give myself some depth to this. So I'm going to say that this is going to be, I don't know, let's just go with 3.25 right now. And then I'm going to draw a line up from the other side. And that is also going to be going up that 3.25. I can track that in place if I want. And now we can go ahead and we can create the profile for what we're going to use to revolve. And so since the top of this is actually liquid, I'm going to start here from this point, and I'm going to go ahead and just sort of give myself some wavy sort of texture here for the top. Okay, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and double click this to end that spline, green check it, and now I'm going to come here to my view cube, go into an isometric view, Now we can go ahead and use revolve. That's my profile, my revolve axis box. I can go ahead and pick on this line. It's going to be sweeping that, revolving that all the way around. And since this is hot chocolate, we need to come over here to our appearance panel, double click on this, and we need to be picking a good color for hot chocolate. So that looks like a pretty good hot chocolate color. I'm going to green check it, get rid of my appearance panel. Okay, and now my hot chocolate liquid is ready to go. All right, it definitely wouldn't be hot chocolate without marshmallows. So I'm going to add a new part, and I'm going to go ahead and name this marshmallow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sketch on my front plane. Take a look at that front plane on the view cube. I'm going to draw a circle starting from the origin, and I'm going to say that that is 0.35 maybe for my diameter, and now I'm going to go ahead and extrude that, okay, to a distance of 0.5. So let's just go ahead and drop that in, green check it. Looks like about the right size for a miniature marshmallow, but way too sharp a corner. So let's use fillet here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this edge and grab this edge, bring this down maybe to like 0.05 for my radius. Let's just see what that looks like. Nice and rounded over. So let's green check it. And now let's come over here to my appearance, double click here on this box, and let's just turn that to white, and we green check it, and we have marshmallows to use. Okay, so we basically have everything that we're going to need. Let's go back into the assembly. And now let's go ahead and start inserting the parts that we're going to need. So we know we're going to need the hot chocolate mug. Let's go ahead and drop that in, green check it, and let's go ahead and right click on it to do a fix. And now that is fixed in location, so we're good to go. I'm now going to come in and do an insert again. This time it's going to be the hot chocolate liquid. And now I'm going to come here to my marshmallow, and I'm going to drop in, I don't know, 3, 4 of those things. Because we're going to have some fun with, using offset with the marshmallows to kind of orient these where they look a little bit more natural. Okay, so the liquid needs to go into the mug. So let's go ahead and just flip this over. Let's take a look at it. And we're going to come up here and find our fasten mate. So I'm going to flip to the bottom, and I'm going to find the origin here at the bottom of the actual liquid. And now I'm going to be looking inside the cup and finding the origin right there at the bottom of the mug. We're going to go ahead and green check it. It's in the right orientation. All right, so we have the liquid actually in the cup. All right, and now we can go ahead and start in on the marshmallows. So this is going to be a little bit more interesting. So check out how this works. So we're going to say we're going to do a fasten mate. I'm going to come here and find the origin here at the bottom of the marshmallow. And then I'm going to flip this over and pick on the origin that's the bottom of the actual mug. All right, so right now we can see that this is going in the wrong orientation. We want that positive Z to go in the other direction, so we're going to go ahead and do the flip. Okay, and now we can tell it how far up we want this to go. So if I pick on the offset, I can come here to my Z and I can say, hey, I want that to come up 3.5 inches, and let's just see where that's at. So it's not quite up there on top of the liquid yet, so let's go to 3.75. Okay, let's just kind of get that up there. All right, so now what we can do is we can start rotating. All right, so I'm going to say I want to rotate this along this x-axis that we see right here. So right now we can see it's rotating along the x. And what I can do is just come out here and put in an angle. So I'm going to just lay this down flat. So I'm going to say that that is 90 degrees. Okay, so we can see that is flat, but now it is hovering above the liquid. So we might have to come back in here and change this up, maybe back down to 3.5. So we can see it is partially submerged into that hot cocoa. And now we can come out and start playing around with how far off we want this to be. So maybe we want to send that over like 1.25 inches. Okay, that's going to be over there. I don't think it's actually running into the wall, but let's just go ahead and bring it back just a little bit. So we'll just say 1.1. That's going to bring it back over. Okay, and now we can go ahead and green check it. All right, so that marshmallow has been placed, and it's floating there on top of the liquid. All right, let's just do a couple more of these. Let's go to fasten mate. I'm going to come back into this one again, find the origin, flip this around, look at the bottom, find the origin of the mug. Remember, we're looking at that positive Z. We can see that is going in the wrong direction. So let's go ahead and do the flip. Now our positive Z is going up. I'm going to come into my offset, go into my Z, and send this up, I don't know, 3.5. Okay, it's going to bring that up there to the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate this along the Y. So I'm going to rotate this along the Y, and I'm going to say that I want this to be, I don't know, let's just say 45 degrees. So it's actually going to send it out just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more, bring this up maybe to 3.6. Okay, it's going to bring that up. Let's just go with 3.7. Let's just see what happens. Okay, and the last thing I can do is go ahead and shoot this off into another direction. So I don't know, let's just send this out, maybe an inch. Let's just see where that sends it. Okay, we can see how it's just partially submerged there, maybe a little bit high still. Let's just drop it down 3.6. Okay, looking pretty good. Okay, we'll go ahead and green check that. All right, so you have the ability to sort of tinker, with your offset distances and getting that marshmallow kind of where you want it. But anyway, that's sort of the pattern or the procedure you would use in order to put the other two marshmallows in. Just sprinkle those across the top. All right, so everything's looking pretty good. I think it's just kind of a dull looking sort of cup right now. So what we can do is go out there and actually add something to it. So maybe some sort of like a raised, piece of text or lettering or whatever. So what I'm going to do is actually come back here to the hot chocolate mug. And just put this into an isometric view. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually offset this front plane. And I'm going to do something kind of similar to what I was doing earlier with the handle. So I'm going to offset this front plane that we see right here. If we look at this from the top, that was a diameter of 2, diameter of 4. So if I did a distance of 2, it's going to send that right to the edge, but I'm going to send this a little bit more. I'm going to say 2.125. Okay, so it's just going to be raised just a little bit outside of the mug. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And now I can go ahead and start on my 2D sketch right there at that plane. Take a look at it. And now we can go ahead and create our text box. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in LTHS and green check it. All right, that text is absolutely huge, goes beyond the actual cup. So all I can do on this is just come out here and dimension this. And I'm going to say I want my text type maybe to be like 1 inch. Now what I can do is I can grab a hold of this. I should be able to grab a hold of this guy. Let's see if we can sort of push this into the right location. It's not wanting to behave. It seems like it is constrained. Let's try this again. Let's go with this and LTHS, green check it. Let's put our dimension in, make sure that is 1 inch. And now let's see if we can't grab a hold of this. It's still locked on. Okay, let's see if we can't dimension this into place. So from here to, let's see if we can't get used to work for us. So from here to here, can we get that to bump over? Yeah, we got it. All right, so it might not be perfectly centered, but I think it's going to work just for this sort of demo. Let's just go with 0.45. That looks pretty centered. I like it. And now let's see if we can't just drag that up just a little bit. Okay, get that centered. I'm sorry, I got to get this centered a little bit better. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and green check that. Now what I'm going to do is use an extrude here. And let's extrude this text. It needs to be an add. I'm going to flip it in the right direction. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, instead of this being blind, I'm going to say up to face. I'm going to pick on face and then pick on the actual face of the mug and green check it. All right, so that's not the way we want our extrusion to look. We actually want this to be rounded over to go along with the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extrude or create a sketch here on top, come to this flat part. Let's go with this side. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just draw a circle starting from the origin. I'm just going to bring this out just past the actual mug. And then I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line starting from this arc, send this straight up, keep it outside of the text. Okay, and then bring it back to the circle. Now I can go ahead and use trim, get the profile I'm looking for. That is the profile I'm looking for, so I'm going to green check it, send this into an isometric view, and watch how we do this. We're going to say extrude this profile. It needs to be a remove. Okay, it's going in the right direction. And I'm going to say, send that up like 6 inches or something. Okay, like so. Okay, and we should be able to bulldoze all that off the top of it. There, we got it. Now let's go ahead and green check it. All right, and there you go. All right, so we have our raised text and it is rounded to the curvature of the actual mug. And in order to finish all this up, we want a little bit of contrast between those two. So I'm going to come out here and add some green, okay, with our holiday colors, okay, to that face, that face, that face, and that face. Green check it. All right, and we have ourselves our holiday mug. So let's go ahead and get rid of the appearance panel. Let's go back into the assembly. Okay, we have marshmallows floating in our hot chocolate in our customized mug. All right, and that is it. That is our Onshape Wednesday for today. That's hot chocolate, everybody's favorite holiday drink, in a mug. All right, so have fun with that one. We'll see you soon.